Hello and welcome to Queued Pixel. Today I'm continuing my open source Minecraft plugin development work. However, I am going to change the topic a little bit from what I did last time. What I've been working on for the last few streams is a project called CoreCraft. It's a Minecraft game where players will be able to control different areas, link them up, create little triangle areas out of them, and try to score points. I've been making some pretty good progress with that. The last stream was doing a bit of optimization to make it faster to look up areas on the map. And that work seemed to go fairly well. But one of the areas I've been having trouble with our server, our Aberrant Wonder server, that I run with a friend of mine, is keeping track of all the different shops that players have created. You know, we've got Empton, who has created like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 shops. We've got myself, who have created 20 shops or so. We've got Pixelgrief, who has chatted with us a bit on the channel today, has a handful of shops, and we've got a few others here and there. And as I play the game and I look for stuff to buy and sell, I have a hard time finding shops that are available, finding the best price, and if I want to sell a whole bunch of stuff, finding a shop that has available room in their inventory to accept it. So one of the projects that me and Pixelgrief talked about was a plugin for the dynamic map to show shops within the dynamic map. And so that's what I want to start today. I'm not abandoning the CoreCraft work. It's just I also kind of want to make some progress on this the ShopChest integration with dynamic map. And we'll just see what happens, and we'll bounce between the two projects. But at least for the start today, I want to start looking at what it would take to integrate the ShopChest plugin with the dynamic map. And I think the main reason why I'm able to do this now is because some of the work I've done with CoreCraft does allow me to kind of begin to see how to do this integration as well. So I've kind of explored some of the map integration. As we can see, I've got the initial version checked into GitHub right now. This is just the bare bones initial version that has just the README, the license, and a couple other files beyond that. The next step, or the first next step I like to take in projects of this nature, is to basically create a Hello World example that allows us to build the initial version. So let's get started. Let's go take a look at that. I like to use kind of my existing projects as templates for this. So we've got stimulus packages one, CoreCraft is the other one to look at. But I'll look at stimulus package here first, because it has this dashed name that I want to mimic for a dynamic map ShopChest. So the first thing to copy is the POM file, the project object model. So let's just copy the whole file here rather than copy paste the contents. We'll say copy, paste. There's just a couple things to clean up here, and this needs to be the name of the project, so Dynmap dash ShopChest. And it's not give money to players, it is display ShopChest maps on the dynamic map. Copyright is still correct, it's still 2018, and I'm still Queued Pixel. Still using the MIT license. Everything else seems to be applicable to that. Then we get to the project object model content here. The model version is still the same. The group is still the same. We'll still go with Queued Pixel. Artifact ID. This will be Dynmap ShopChest. Still put it in a jar. We'll go version 100. And for this, I'll look at CoreCraft, because that's still a in-progress build. I think it's 100-snapshot. We do the dash snapshot to indicate that this is something that is still being developed. Name. Let's see. I want to just get some of these things consistent here. So like stimulus package, we've got a readme. Then I did stimulus package without any dashes. Stream countdown overlay. This is the project that does the countdown you see when I start my stream. So if you're curious about that code is also on GitHub and is available for you to poke at if you want. So here I do the name without or with the dashes. Choices. Let's go with, let's just close all this. Let's go back over to here. What do we have here? So the dashes are nice for the actual project identifier on GitHub, but I like doing actual words for everything else. So let's go with that. And I may go back and fix up the stream countdown overlay at some point. Yeah, we've already got this fixed, so we're great. The URL, I'm just going to steal this guy. We'll just point to our GitHub project page. Repositories, what do we got here? Well, just for a plain old Hello World, I don't need Spigot, and I don't need Jetpack, so let's get rid of those. I don't need any dependencies. So I don't need Spigot. I don't need ShopChest. I don't need Sane Economy. Great Prevention. I don't need any of this. So let's get rid of all that. Properties. We still need UTF-8 for source encoding. Otherwise, Maven complains. And we'll go with 1.8 for the compiler source and target. Otherwise, Maven complains or doesn't work too well. For the build, I think this is all about running JUnit, so I think I can get rid of this for now. Once I add JUnit tests, we can add that back. But for just a basic Hello World, I think this is all we really need. Alright, so next steps is we need a source directory. So let's go to just one of these. Let's go to Corecraft for this. We say source, main Java. Lots of stuff. So, new folder, source, main. This is the naming scheme partly required by Maven as the source, main, Java. And then now we have the Java naming scheme. So the com, queued, pixel. And then the name to use at this point. Let's see, let's go bring up stimulus package, because again, it's a dashed name. I just wanted to see what I did with the package. I'm assuming I just got rid of the dash. Yeah, that's what I did. I got rid of the dash. So we'll do the same thing here. Queued pixel, and we will say new folder, Dynmap ShopChest. Let's see, Dynmap. A bit of a jumble of words there. I may change my mind about that in the future, but at least for starting, we'll go with that. And then for Hello World, let's just add in our initial main.java. Let's copy paste our copyright notice. For this, let's bring over the notice from palm.xml. We need a package. We'll fix that up in a second. We need a class. All right, so the package com-queued pixel, we said Dynmap ShopChest. Class name is main. And print out hello world. So again, just the most basic of programming projects here, but just enough to verify that everything works, that Maven is configured and working, that my compiler works, that everything I need to start a real project is present. So let's just give this a try. Say Maven package. Looks like it built. Say Java class path target Dynmap. Then the class is that hello world. So that works. So we've added a few things here. We've modified the README. Let's do a diff on that. Let's commit that separately for this guy. We'll say add README. Let's see, how do I do this? It's just a dash at the beginning. Update project name. Update formatting for project name. And what's next? We have... So pom.xml has been added. Source has been added, and target is a generated directory. So I like to ignore those using git ignore. So let's go copy over git ignore from, sure, we'll copy it from this guy here. Let's close some of these folders here. Don't need all that stuff to be visible. I'll eventually move this over to IntelliJ. But until I get the first pass configured, it's a little premature to do that just yet. So let's paste this in here. Let's pull over the updated description. Boom. Let's see, we just need to ignore target at this point, so I'm not going to ignore idea, the .idea, that is the IntelliJ files or directories. Yeah, so we add to git ignore, we add pom.xml, we add source. So we have our README, or sorry, our copyright, and we ignore target. For pom.xml, we have, again, our copyright, our description, group, artifact, packaging, version. All looks correct. And then the source file, which I guess I should have kept this up just a little bit longer just to confirm. I got copyright with the description, package, class, and hello world. Let's just compare that this commit with other commits I've done. I like to be fairly consistent with how I do things. Let's look at CoreCraft because it was the most recent. Add hello world example. We'll go with that. Close. All right, so now we have enough of a project in here to go fire up IntelliJ. So let's start closing up everything within Atom and go to IntelliJ for the remainder of our work here. Atom is a great little text editor, but for doing Java development, I prefer a real Java IDE, and IntelliJ is what I'm using these days. All right, let's go fire up IntelliJ. I think it's going to open up CoreCraft, so I'll need to figure out how to switch it over to the new dynamic map project I'm working on. And it looks like there's some updates I haven't installed yet. Let's go ahead and update and restart. Hopefully this isn't a huge change. Got a new privacy policy. And we're back. Yeah, so let's go clean all this up. I want to close down the CoreCraft project and open up a different project instead. So how do I do this? Open recent. Close project. Import project. That is a Maven project, so we'll start with that. All that looks good. Sure, I'll go Java 1.8 for that. And there we go, nice and simple. There is our source folder, main, Java, our package, and our main. This itself has probably created some files that we now need to ignore, so let's go take a look. Yep, there's the .idea, so let's go add that to our git ignore. How did I do this in CoreCraft? Was it, yeah, so just that without any folder name or anything. Stimulus package, same thing. This doesn't count. We don't have anything there. And what does the commit? Ignore IntelliJ files. Excellent. We will start with that. All right, just continuing to work through the initial basic steps here. The next major step is to create a basic plugin template. Since this is going to be a plugin that the user isn't really going to interact with directly, it's basically going to create a layer within the dynamic map. I don't really anticipate adding any user accessible commands or even admin accessible commands, at least not at first. There might be need down the road, but for now, I'll keep that simple. So I think most of the testing and work we're going to do is not going to be interactive. It's going to be stuff that happens when the plugin is loading. So I think the next major step is to get that. Oh, Control W is weird. I guess it's Control F4 to close a window. The next major step is to just add in the plugin integration, and we'll probably start adding in a layer of test code inside that onEnable function that we've seen several times. So to start this, I'm just going to grab over the repositories and the dependencies from CoreCraft, because I think, actually, for this, I don't need the entire set. I really just need Spigot. Yeah, just Spigot for now. I'll want to bring over a dynamic map eventually, but let's start with just Spigot. And then once we're ready for the dynamic map, we will add that as well. Alright, so where does this go? So we've got our properties section. Is that at the bottom? Yeah, so we've got repositories, dependencies, and properties at the bottom. So let's add repository. Let's get rid of dynamic map, so we have just Spigot. And then dependencies, let's also add in Spigot, but not dynamic map. Not yet. Now, at some point, this should notice the change. Maybe I need to do that. Excellent. So we've now added Spigot, and now all the Spigot libraries are now available within IntelliJ. Excellent. And so the next major step is to add in the initial version of that plugin file. So let's go look at CoreCraft. Actually, there's two things we need to add. There's the resources folder with plugin YML. So let's go add this. Let's copy and paste this. Let's copy resources. What folder is this under? Is that main, and then resources at the same level as Java. So source, main, paste, plugin YML. So let's bring over our updated description. Let's see, for a name, I believe they insist upon having no spaces. We can double check this with stimulus package, because I think I just did it with 2 words using Pascal casing. Not config, but plugin. Yeah, we just jammed them together like that. So we'll do the same thing for this version. This is, where is it? Dynmap ShopChest. Version is 100 snapshot, the main plugin. Haven't made that file name yet, but that'll be what we need. We have no dependencies yet, so let's drop that. We don't anticipate adding any commands, so let's drop that. And I don't think we need any permissions, so let's drop that. We just need the name, the version, and the main for right now. So that's that resources folder. The next is to create this plugin, this plugin class. Let's go ahead and create that. New Java class, Splat. Let's bring over our copyright header. And let's just copy and paste from CoreCraft to get a sense for what this should look like. So we extend a Java plugin. We need on enable. I'll just bring over the whole section for the moment. On enable, on disable. However, I don't have anything to do with this just yet. We'll just delete all this for now. I'll copy and paste further stuff if and when I need it. And let's see, did I have... I don't think I've done much in the way of logging in this. It looks like I've done 0 logging here. So I think it's, this dot get logger dot info. I'll just add in a hello world output for this plugin. Again, just enough to see that it's all working, that we do have the integration working. Let's see if that builds. It does. Let's go ahead and delete the main class. That's basically just a test that we don't need anymore, so it is gone. Well, let's just see if this much works within our server. So I've copied a new backup of our server as of a few hours ago, so should have the latest and greatest version of everything. There's a new version of Spigot we're working with, and should have maybe not up to the minute map, but fairly recent map. Let's copy over. Projects. GitHub, QPixel. Copy that in and start our server. So we should see our hello world message just as soon as our plugin loads. Yeah, Dynamic Map ShopChest, enabling Dynamic Map ShopChest. Version 100 snapshot, hello world. Excellent. I definitely need to add in the dependencies because we can see it's being enabled before ShopChest is. Interesting. ShopChest doesn't initialize all shops until later. I'm just a little worried about timing here because I was anticipating just doing all of our initialization on load. Where is it? Or on enable. But this, where is it? This is our on enable here. And then this is the on enable for ShopChest, and then this is where apparently ShopChest is initializing their shops. And so I might need to set up a scheduled job to do that in a delayed fashion. I'll just have to experiment and see what we do to get this to work. For now, I think we do have our basic kind of hello world stuff working, so let's just take a look at what we got here. We've deleted main.java, we've modified pom.xml. Let's just do a diff on pom.xml. We've basically added in the spigot repository and the spigot dependency. I'll have to double check and see if there's a updated version of this at any point. Let's just do a quick Google search and just see. So I didn't really want the API. I kind of wanted getting started here. So here's the dependencies. We have the spigot repository, so I've done that. We have their dependencies. So a plugin made with version 1.11.2 would have a snapshot of 1.11.2. Okay, well I'd hope if there's a updated version that they would have updated their documentation. So, yep, not going to worry about that too much. I'll just keep an eye on that in the future, and if they give us a new version, I will update accordingly. Alright, so what is next? Let's go review our own source file here, our Dynamic Map ShopChest plugin. We've just added on enable and does the hello world, so that all works. Just a very basic change there. It looks like it thinks I'm renaming main to Dynamic Map ShopChest plugin, which is close enough. I've added plugin YML and I've modified POM XML to include the spigot components. Well, let's go see how this commit looks here. So add hello world example plugin, sure. Alright, so we've got all of the basic framework in place to start the actual work of this plugin. The next step is to start the ShopChest integration. So there's a couple of things to do here. First is to add in the Maven stuff, the POM XML configuration for that, and we can copy and paste out of stimulus package here, since stimulus package also relies upon ShopChest. So it looks like for this we're using Jitpack. So let's add in the Jitpack repository. Where am I? This is CoreCraft. I don't want to be in CoreCraft. Let's close CoreCraft so I don't get confused. So we've added Jetpack. That's the repository. Next up is the actual dependency. Looks like I'm using my own build of ShopChest. I vaguely recall that I did run into an issue with its dependency. Let's go see if that's been fixed at all. Actually, I should have my own fork of this I can follow. Let's just see if I can find it. Yeah, so there's ShopChest forked from that. I was trying to see if I submitted an issue here, but I don't see any from myself. I'm just trying to figure out why I built my own build of this. Let's go take a look at our fork here. Let's go to our branch. I think we have a queued pixel build branch. The fix fr zephy auth me dependency. We added a new repository. We changed the version. It's a little weird. I thought I would have reported this as an issue. This is April 22nd. Let's go bring up their project, April 22nd. April 12th. Oh, looks like I never filed a issue about that. Then they say fix area shop repository. Let's go take a look at this and see. Well, they certainly weren't fixing the one I was having an issue with, the Weaver Inc. This was off me. Maybe that could actually fix it, potentially. The possible test for this is to go to our project, go to the version right before this. So stimulus package from April 22nd. So let's go look at April 22nd. Add ShopChest as a dependency. So yeah, I just went straight to ShopChest without went to my version of ShopChest without even attempting to use theirs. I'm tempted to try their version and just see what happens. If it's broken, we can always use our version. But I kind of want to test theirs and see if we can get that to work. So let's grab this guy. So the group. The group is based on their username, so this will be Epic Eric EE. The artifact ID is the project name, in this case still ShopChest. We want a particular version. In my case, I gave it a branch and then the dash snapshot, so that it got the latest version of that branch. Let's see if they've done any releases since this. I don't think so. The 0 releases. Always a pain when they don't give us a real release. How about branches? What branches do we got? GH pages and threading. Nothing I can really use. So I think for this, we'll just go with master-snapshot. Let's see if any of this works. So it'll take a moment to pull down from Jetpack, because what Jetpack does is we'll grab the source code and build it, and then ship me the compiled jar files. So we're basically waiting for Jetpack to do their build right now. If this fails, we will simply just not get the jar file. We have, well, like a 404 or 500, some sort of error. It won't be obvious as to what the issue is. If I have to, I can clone it locally and take a look, see if we're having the same issue that we were having before. Definitely a bit of a delay here. There must be several other dependencies that this depends on, and Jetpack must be struggling to get everything all together. Sadly, that means I don't have a lot to entertain you with while we wait. While we wait for that, I can bring up our existing live map on our server. Our spawn area has most of the shops, and so this is Empton's area. It has a great deal of shops, which we can't see yet because none of them are visible. We also have Pixel Grief's area with a few shops. We have my area underneath my huge lava fountain. It has half a dozen to a dozen shops or so. Maybe a couple dozen shops because I've got all the different colors of wool present. I've got another really tiny shop right over here put up by Fave1234. Sells a couple of small items there. But none of that is visible on the live map, and so you basically need to log in, physically walk to those locations, check out each and every shop independently, and it's a bit of a hassle to explore all that. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, yeah, there's apparently this coral chorus tree, I'm not sure what it's called, covers up that road just a tiny little bit, so it just looks a little weird with the land claims layer on. Because we don't really see this end of it, all we see is just kind of this bit jut out. So yeah, my hope would be to kind of highlight the areas with shops on it. I'm anticipating creating yet another layer on the live map. Probably use rectangular areas for shops, so we'll find all these shops in a particular area, group them into one rectangle, and then when you click on that, you will see relevant information. You know, whose shop is it? What are they selling? What's the buy price? What's the sell price? How much inventory do they have? All that kind of useful stuff. Is this done yet? No, build failure. Could not resolve dependencies. Internal server error. So I'm guessing it is the same issue that we've been having. Let's go ahead and clone it locally just so we can take a look and see if it is still the same issue that we've been having. Do our own kind of private build here and see what it does. Well, we've got lots of warnings, version, dependencies. Or if these are the things that I fixed. Got one warning. Man, there are so many dependencies here. Another warning with Skyblock. Huh, so it was able to build. Does have some weird stuff here, replacing ShopChest null with Yeah, no, it's a mess. I think I have a version that should work. So let's just go with that. So QPixel, Dynmap. Let's go grab our version of this and swap that in here. Yeah, maybe when I have a little more time and not on stream, I'll poke at that a little bit more. Maybe suggest maybe file an issue. And I can see why I didn't file an issue the first time, because there's so many things going wrong. It's just like, how do I file an issue about that? So the POM for that is invalid. Transitive dependencies will not be available. But at least my project builds. There's obviously still some lingering issues with that POM file, but my stuff is able to build. So let's stick with that. Yep, this has detected changes. So let's go ahead and import those changes. The next thing we should do is add in a dependency on ShopChest. We have now added that plugin, so let's go add in the dependencies section. That's in our case, all we care about is ShopChest. Oh, we probably care about vaults too, don't we? Because we're going to need do stuff. Well, I think all we need right now is ShopChest. Let's start with ShopChest. And as we need other things, we will add other things. But I think just ShopChest is all I need for right now. Just at least start the testing process. Now let's go ahead and update our README with some details here. This plugin depends on the following plugins. In this case, it's just ShopChest. Installation, binary release is not available to use, blah, 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 blah. All that's still the same. Compile, run Maven package, install, copy. The target in this case is this guy. There's no real usage yet. There's going to be no commands, at least I haven't added any commands and don't anticipate adding any commands, so we'll stick with just what we got here. So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and rebuild our plugin. Just the simple change should change the order of operations. Like we saw before, that that our plugin was initialized before ShopChest. Now that I've added this dependency, I suspect, or I hope, that ShopChest will be initialized first, and then our plugin will be initialized. So let's give that a test and see what that looks like. Alright, so server is up. So we have ShopChest, Super Vanish, J Dynamic Map Grief Prevention, CMS package, and now Dynmap ShopChest. So yeah, it looks like it just dumped mine a little bit lower in the list here. I know stimulus package also depends on ShopChest, And so it's like, all right, well, we'll just put you near this other plugin that also depends on it, I guess. Now we still have this initialized 107 shops, so I'm still a little concerned as to what that looks like. Let's go take a look at their code and just see what they're doing here. See, is this their plugin here? Yeah, extends Java plugin. So let's go look up on enable. There's an on load. On enable. So what does on load do? Load external plugins, load any utils. Hologram format, shop util, register listeners, initialize shops. Debug initializing shops, reload shops, new callback this. Looks like it does call a shop initialized event, so I can listen to that. And that will hopefully be sufficient for our purposes. Because yeah, I was wondering, how do I handle this delay here? We have, they load. Let's see, it's not there. They load here, they enable here using SQLite, and then not until after the server is loaded and everything else is loaded does it actually initialize the shops. So there's just some concern that I won't have an API available to see what the shops are. But the shop initialize event looks like a good one to use. So let's listen to that. Just kind of see where we're at here. We've added the Jetpack repository. We've added the ShopChest, my version of the ShopChest dependency. We've updated the README with dependencies, installation, and compiling instructions. We've added a dependency on ShopChest in the, I believe this is plugin.yml. Yeah, so let's go look at how do we listen to events. I think Stimulus Package does have a good example of that here. So let's go bring up Stimulus Package and just see how we listen to events. Implements listener. And then we need an event handler here. In this case, the event is what? The shop initialized event. sure what to do with that yet, so let's just delete all of that. We've got a few imports to add. Let's see what we got here. We got event dot get amount, get handlers. I don't know what get amount is supposed to be. Let's go see what we got here. Event, shop initialized event. I just love this. We have this variable amount, but it doesn't describe what it is. There's really nothing else here. We have handler list, but amount is basically all we got. So let's just say this dot get logger dot info shop initialized event plus event dot amount, get amount. No idea. Let's see, we also need to add in something to register this event listener. I sort of look through their through my other code here to see how we set up listeners here. Yeah, here we go. We register events. So let's do that. And the on enable, I'm going to get rid of hello world. We don't need that anymore. All right, so we've added this register events on enable to register this class as an event listener. We've added this event handler. I suspect amount is going to be the number of shops that were initialized. We should be able to see that pretty rapidly here. Let's go bounce our server and see what we get. Yeah, so here we got the shop initialized event. 107 was the amount, and the initialized 107 shops. So that's what amount means. Not really anything I really care about. And so the real question is how do I get access to shops? So I think I can get this class pretty easily. Everything's private, so let's just go through the public functions and see what I can do. So I can get the instance. I already can, so that's not really an issue. Public on load, I'm not going to call. Public on enable, I'm not going to call. Public on disable, I'm not going to call. Private load metrics, private check for updates, private register listeners, private initialize public debug, program format, shop command, has area shop, has grief prevention, has island world, ASCII block, sky block, plot squares. So it looks like it's just all these different plugins it supports. Get shop utils. So I'll check out shop utils, see if that has anything useful for me. There's the shop database. Oh, nice generic name there, guys. Jeez. So shop utils and database are two that look like they're catching my eye here. Yeah, so let's try shop utils. Get shop at location. Check whether there's a shop at a given location. Get shops. Get all shops. Do not use for removing while iteration. Read-only collection of all shops may contain duplicates. What? Add shop. Remove shop. Get shop limit. Get shop amount. The amount of shops of a player. Plug in get shop database, connect, new callback, on result for shop in get shop's copy, remove shop. Get shop database, get shops, new callback. For shop in result, we create. Shop.create, add shop. Update shops. So looks like this removes every shop and then adds every shop from some loaded database. So I'm curious if I can use like a shop added event instead of the initialize. Update nearest shops. So what does add shop do? Inventory holder, add in shop, double chest, blah blah blah. Get location. If callback is not null, callback call sync result. So I don't see anything that looks like it is sending out an event. I don't see anything that looks like an event. Huh. Let's go look at their events. So this is a shop create event. It says this is sent when a player creates a shop. Player shop creation price. Shop event, shop info, shop initialized. Pre-create. Pre-info, pre-open, pre-remove. Remove all. As was before, the remove all command, there's a /shop remove all player. Well, we can try listening to the shop create event and see if that is something that's used as an alternative here. So let's keep this. And now let's add in the shop create event as well. So what did we call it? It's just shop create event. I'm going to leave all this blank for now. I don't care about any of the details. Yeah, so new test. Let's see if I get that called once per new shop or new per shop that is created during the initialization. I suspect probably not, but I don't know. Sometimes I get surprised. So no, the initialization does not call the shop create event. Now to just test and see if that does work, let's just go log in real fast, create a quick shop. And see what that does. Now for this, I'll keep the console open while I log in and create a shop here so we can see both at the same time. Log on my local server here. Let's see. I'll just grab zombie meat. That's a nice generic thing I can use to create a shop. Oh, I also need a chest. I have no wood. Let's get some wood. Alright, so I've got my chest. I've got my zombie meat. Let's go create a shop. Down here is where I keep all of my shops. So I've got my wool, I've got saddles, charcoal, smooth stone, I buy cobblestone, I also buy and sell diamonds now. It's a fairly recent addition. So let's go do this, a shop. Let's see, so shop, create one. I'll just say buy, sell for one each. And there it is. There is the shop create event. I suspect if I was to look at that event class, I would see more details about what's going on there. So Cute Pixel is selling one rotten flesh. Well, Cute Pixel is this really crazy guy who thinks people want to buy rotten flesh from him. Also, buying and selling wool for anybody who is curious about doing pixel art. I've got all the colors of wool here. That's kind of a separate question. That's my promotion side showing up. Come check out my store, buy my stuff. All right, yeah, so we got to this. The shop create event when I created a shop and not when all the shops were initialized. Okay, well let's go grab that plugin. Let's go look at how I do this within Stimulus Package, because I think I use Stimulus Package to get some plugins. Yeah, grief prevention. Let's just steal something like this. I don't need grief prevention specifically, but I do need ShopChest. It's just called ShopChest. Let's say private ShopChest. ShopChest. This dot ShopChest is equal to typecasting to ShopChest. bucket, get server, get plugin manager, get plugin group prevention. No, we want, I think we just want ShopChest. Yeah, ShopChest. Let's see, do I need all this, or can I just do this dot get plugin manager? This plugin loader. Get server dot get plugin manager. Don't know if that's any cleaner or not. Certainly if I have access to a variable on my class, I'd prefer to use that. So let's go use that. And I'm able to do that. Yeah, it's small enough now. I say this dot shop chest dot get shop utils dot get shops. What does that give us? I presume a collection of shops. Get the amount of items in an inventory. Get free space for item. Oh yeah, these functions will be really handy. These are some of the things that I want to display. So I want to see how many you have available to sell, and how many you have available, how much room you have available for buying the item. So I was really hoping I'd find these functions, so that's great. That saves me from having to write them myself. Get item in offhand, get item in main hand, get preferred item in hand, has axe in hand. Why does that matter? Has permission to create shop, has permission to create shop. Send packet. This must be how they do some of their spinning hologram type things. Oh, cool. Very cool. The utils looks very handy there. Yeah, so I wanted to see the get all shops. What does this do for us here? Why am I not seeing it? I saw it earlier. We have add a shop, add shop. Ah, here we go. Get shops. This returns a collection of shop. Say for shop inside this collection of shops, do stuff Shop.what? We got a bunch of stuff here. Shop. We have normal shops, we have admin shops. Plug in, offline, plug with the vendor. We have the product that we're selling. Location, buy price, sell price. Type, normal or admin. And a config. Yeah, so we could try something like this, get block X. Let's say, let's grab this. Say shop, and then let's give it XYZ coordinates. X colon. This will be plus shop dot get location dot get block X. Y. Same thing. Shop get location dot get block Y. Bah. So just kind of debugging to see what information we get here, see if we're able to iterate over every single shop, see if it is, how serious this duplicate issue is, because it does say we might get duplicate shops inside their documentation here. Oh, where was it? Get shops. May contain duplicates. No idea how serious that warning is. So let's see what we get here. I'm guessing we're just going to see a whole lot of output. Could not pass event. Shop initialize event to dynamic map ShopChest. Event exception null. No such method error. Get shops. Huh. So this function that I'm calling doesn't seem to exist. Let's run a blame on this and see when that function got added. 11 months ago. Method get shops now returns a collection. And what is the last release of their project here? Spigot ShopChest. Last release was about a year ago, June 27th, 2017. So it's entirely possible there's a disparity between what's in their GitHub versus what they've released. So let's see if I can see what this looked like before. Here it returned an array. That's fine. I can still deal with that. What I need is the version that they released. Unfortunately, they haven't been doing releases. They haven't tagged anything. They've basically just been doing commits, so can I try to find the commit that they did the release here? So it was right around, what, June 27th? So let's see if there's a release right around June 27th last year. Method get shops now returns a collection. Oh, that's like right on the day of their last release. Clean up Palm. Oh, sorry, this was July 27th, not June. So let's go look at June 27th, change version to 1.12.3. Let's go look at this change. Ah, they're not doing snapshots. God. .12.3, is that the version that they released? Yeah, 1.12.3. Oh, what a pain in the butt. So I basically need to use this specific version which there it is there. Let's look up Jetpack and how to use it here. So for tag, you can use the short commit hash or master-snapshot as the version. Let's see, they're talking about pricing, it looks like. Invoices. Let's go look at their documentation here. Building with a jetpack. Publishing, features. I was hoping to find more information about how to do the tag. I'm just not seeing it, so I think I'm just going to try something and see what works here. All right, so this is my version of their project. I'm going to go back to their version and see if this version happens to work. I suspect we're going to continue to have issues, but we will see. So I'll use that specific commit as the version I want to use. I'm assuming that commit is the version that they shipped. And considering it's on June 27th, this is the date of their last release, then their next commit is July 24th, I'd say it's a pretty safe bet that, and this is the version they released as well, so this is pretty much got to be it. So that seems like a pretty good place to start with. And again, we'll have to wait for this to build. See if there's any issues from June on last year. So as I could always try to use the development build, but I prefer to use released versions as much as possible. All right, so we have another build failure here. All right, well, we have our own project that I can use for this, my fork of this repository. Let's bring it up. Actually, here it is. This should be it. Yeah. And I want to create a branch at a particular commit point. So I've got the current branch name for the one that I'm using is qpixel qpixel-build. I want to include like the version number in this. Stimulus package, I do have some releases. So let me check my own tags. I think I can use dots in a tag, so I say qpixel dash what? What's their version? July, June 1.12.3. 1.12.3. Go like put in that at the end. qpixel-build 1.12.3. And now let's see if I can find this commit and make a branch on that particular commit. I haven't done this with GitHub before. So June 8th, June 15th. Yeah, so change version to 1.12.3. This is the commit. And I want to make a branch at this point. I don't want to comment on the commit, I just want to make a branch here. Yeah, create branch qpixel-build dash 1.12.3 from OCF blah 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 blah. Sure. Branch created. So I've got their new branch, or my new branch, I should say. Let's do a git checkout. qpixel build dash 1.12.3. Do a git log, and we should see change version to 1.12.3, June 27th last year. So I've got the latest version that they've released. Now let's see if this builds. I'm guessing it's going to have issues with the build. Oh, it has to, I mean, because I'm not able to use it. So I could not resolve dependencies for project. Could not find artifact. fr, zephy, authme, jar, blah, 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 blah. So it looks like it's the same problem that I fixed once before. Let's just go look at that that change and fix it yet again. Just see if I can replicate that same fix. So it looks like I added a new repository, the code MC repo, right above Jetpack. So let's go add that same repository right above Jetpack. I'm just going to close all this stuff. So we're in ShopChest. So let's add that right above Jetpack, if I can find it here. They've got a bunch of junk in here. All right, yeah, so let's add it right above Jetpack. Of course, it's bringing over all these plus signs. All right, so I've added that repository. The next thing I added was I changed the dependency. I went from version 5.2 to 5.4.0 of authme. So from 5.2 to 5.4.0. There's this weird no new line in a file. That doesn't matter. That shouldn't affect anything. And so I think those are just the only two changes that I made. Let's do another build. See if that fixes it. Yeah, we're still getting a bunch of warnings here. I haven't tried to fix these warnings. All right, so it now builds. Let's go ahead and add this commit as well. What is this dependency reduced palm? I have no idea what the heck that's supposed to be here. Dependency reduced palm. So it's a shade plugin thing. I know, I gotta ignore it. Just gonna add in palm. Fix authme dependency. Let's go ahead and push that. Okay, so we've created a new branch with this fix that should be the version that we want to use. Let's update our POM file for Dynamic Map ShopChest to use that version. So it's going to be back to queued pixel. This is the branch dash snapshot. And this will hopefully work. And I suspect the build will work. I know it worked before. And this will now give me a version that is in sync with what they've released. And I guess we really just need to bug these guys to release a new version and fix their build issues and yada, 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 yada. It's a little little sloppy. Makes it really hard to use as a dependency in your own projects, as we could see. I'm a little surprised nobody has complained about these dependencies and other stuff. It just seems like of course there's lots of other issues here. Add to disable updater. Thanks. Some out of bounds exception. No idea what they're complaining about there. I've never seen an error about that. Permission doesn't function. Offline player cannot get money from shop. I haven't seen that issue. Bugs, nice generic messages here. Oh no, still fails. Falling artifacts could not be resolved. Townie. We can't find Townie anymore. Alright, let's see. It's several things. Fallen artifacts could not be resolved. Polymer Games Townie. Nakik Island World. World Guard. Area Shop. Polymer Games. Huh. But I'm not seeing these same errors on my end. Now I have a cached version of my Maven repository, and so I could clear out my Maven repository. I think it's just m2.m2. Yeah, that's it. So let's remove it. This will mean I have to re-download everything to compile things, but it'll give me a clean world view. And so this way, if anything is failing here, I won't be able to rely on a cached version any longer. Actually, I'm wondering if the problem is with building this project, or if it's trying to grab those dependencies for my project and that is failing. It's possible that this build will still be fine. We'll have to see. So plot squared has a warning, but a warning shouldn't stop me from being able to continue this process. Can validate what J chronic it looks like. Sky block. A sky block. Transitive dependencies, if any, will not be available. See, that's part of the problem, is these transitive dependencies may not be coming along for the ride. Which ultimately I don't really care. Those things don't have to be present for me to build my project. And so I'll have to see what I can do about this. So many things to download. Another validation failed of... I don't know, it's going by too fast. Plot squared. Use skyblock, it looks like. So that much succeeded. We're building, we're still getting some warnings, but we're building now. Now we're downloading Maven Central Repository stuff. We're doing a jar shading. Okay, well. So that build succeeds. Let's clear out my repository again. CD projects, GitHub, QPixel, Dynmap. Let's pay attention to exactly what fails here. It's possible that that project, the ShopChest project, is working just fine, but it's some of these other dependencies that are beginning to fail. Yeah, so let's see here. So downloaded from Jetpack, QPixel, Palm. So we've got the Palm file. Did we actually get the jar? Right here, it is downloaded from Spigot. No, that's Spigot. Never mind. Downloaded from Jetpack. Okay, yeah, so we've got ShopChest, QPixel, build, blah, 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 .jar. So Townie, Island World, World Guard. Oy. So let's look up Townie in their Palm file. Two results found. Scope, system, system path. Project baster, lib townie. Huh. Let's take a look. We have a lib folder. And there's townie. Oh my goodness. Well, this is very unfortunate because these are just going to be a royal pain in the ass to integrate. Are these the exact 4 things that I'm having difficulties with here? So we have townie. Townie is the 3rd one listed. Then we have island world. That's the 2nd one. Then we have world guard. The 4th one. Area shop. The 1st one. Then we have townie again. Gonna find out effect townie jar at specified path. Home, jetpack, build, lib, townie jar. I was going to have to re-download all of this shit again. Because I blew away my Maven repository to test this. Well, I want to run this again, and then I want to look at the warnings and error messages. I suspect it's going to complain about those 4 projects. Because it's basically given us a local place to find them. Which... wow, I've been strongly resisting committing things like Java libraries to Git and then referencing them in this fashion because it plays havoc with people using your project as a dependency. And we can see what's happening right here is I'm now struggling to figure out these dependencies. I'm pretty sure they fixed this in a newer commit, because I don't recall having to fix this when I did my commit. Yeah, this build here. So anything after June last year that they fixed these issues. So June 112.2, 112.3. Clean up pom.xml. Doesn't really look like it's changed anything there. Return to collection, performance, callback. See improvements, use collection, edit option. Then there's my fix. Let's go look at the code. Don't want to do a pull request. Let's go follow their POM XML. run a blame on this. Actually, I don't even need a blame. I just want to look at it here. Look at things like Townie. We've got bucket, vault, B stats, auth me, plot squared, U sky, A sky, grief prevention, Townie. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Seems to have the same issues with Townie, at least, that I do. And Island World. And World Guard. And Area Shop. Huh. Let's run this again, see what we got here. So version contains an expression, but should be constant. Dependency system path for Townie should not point at files within the project directory. Will be unresolvable by dependent projects. Yeah. Island World, World Guard, Area Shop. Resources is missing. So lots of issues. Let's go check stimulus package and just make sure that this still builds. Because I'm guessing I would have had to run into these same issues with stimulus package, yet I'm not seeing these same issues, so either I fixed it or they fixed it. Let's run it again. We have warning, Palm for ShopChest is invalid. Transitive dependencies will not be available, so the same warning we're seeing with our stuff. And yet, it seems to be working just fine. So let's go look at stimulus package and see if I maybe resolved these at some point. So Spigot, ShopChest, Sane Economy, Grief Prevention, JUnit, ShopChest. Oh wait, when I did build this, yes, I just realized that when I built using this tag in my other project, my dynamic map project, that it does work. And so something somewhere has changed between those two builds, and I need to figure out what changed and how to fix it. Ugh. Because yeah, I'm not seeing these issues. I'd want to go back. I want to go back to this project and set this up to use that version. In fact, we can just test that real fast. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm in Dynamic Map, Shop, Chest Shop. Let's use my theoretically broken build of ShopChest and just confirm that I'm getting the same errors on a different project. So back to CMS package, we'll do a Maven package. Downloading some stuff, and yeah, can't resolve dependencies. So there's clearly something that's changed between those two. So I need to figure out what that was and fix that up. In the meantime, let's undo this change. Let's go back to the one that works. Once I fix this, if and when I go back to stimulus package, I will update that. In fact, let me update a note. Give me a note in stimulus package for tasks. Use released version of ShopChest. Just so I remember next time I look at stimulus package that that's something I gotta do. Back to ShopChest. So this should be working again. So let's go back to we just need to fix up ShopChest. And I think what I want to do is let's grab the two versions of POM XML. So this is the newer version that theoretically works, or that not theoretically but does work. So let's pico foo.text splat pico bar.text. And let's splat in the broken version of POM XML. Splat. Diff, foo, and bar. Okay, so we have this name, project artifact ID, name, project properties, versioning. Let's just bring up both versions here. So I'm in what? I'm in my 112.3 branch. Let's go back to my untagged branch. And what am I looking for? Dependency. So create dependency reduced POM. This is in the newer version that works. Create dependency reduced POM is false. Okay, I have no idea what that's doing here. So that's something that has been added in the newer version. We've also added versioning. We've removed this old version. We've added JDK version. We removed Maven compiler source target. We've added project encoding, source encoding, output encoding. Sorry, I'm taking so long just staring at this. I just don't understand. What changes here? So the version should be fine. I don't think that really matters. We've added a comment. I don't know, that's kind of out in left field there. That's around line 31 or so. Yeah, so it's all, that stuff is there as well. GitHub, well, there's this global server thing. Alright, so this one's broken, this one's fixed. We have packaging jar in both. Name looks better. Oh, no, name. So this is the broken version. So name is a hard-coded value in the broken version, and name is this variable in the working version. Okay. I can't imagine that would change things, but URL is the same, description's the same, packaging jar is the same, it's just been moved. Version, where did version come from? Oh no, version just got moved. We have version.final, version.final. Version.final here. Oh, what's going on? Version.number, version.final. Version number, version.get. What the hell is version.get? Oh, that seems to be applicable in both. Yeah, so the packaging jar, I think that's a red herring. It's present in both. The name, I can't imagine name really matters. Project properties. We've added project encoding, which without it you get a warning. I can't imagine that's really going to be a big deal. We've added source encoding, output encoding, which I can't imagine that really matters. Maven compiler source target. We've made it programmatic, version 1.7 here. That shouldn't matter. The version shouldn't matter. The only thing that might possibly matter is this crate dependency reduced POM. I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to do. Let's do a blame on this and see where that came from. Clean up POM XML 11 months ago. So this is where they've made all these changes. Including that. Cleanup to me implies that they're just changing formatting and changing stuff that shouldn't be functional. But this looks like a functional change. So let's just add this. This is under util shaded pattern. Oh, let's go see if I can find it. Dependencies, build, prepare packages, shade. So I think this is where we are. We are on right around line 250 or so. Yeah, it looks like about the same. There's a relocations and then a closing configurations. So relocations, closing configurations. Let's dump it there. Let's remove bar, remove foo, remove dependency reduced, Maven package, just to make sure that doesn't break anything. Still a bunch of warnings. It's no longer creating that file. I don't even know what to call this commit because I have no idea what this is doing. Don't create a dependency reduced POM file. Not that it really matters, but and to actually test this, we need to push it. Now let's try our build again. Unknown life cycle because I misspelled it. Could not resolve dependencies, probably because it is using cached versions of things. So let's go back and remove yet again our Maven repository. This will hopefully re-download everything. Hopefully it forces Jetpack to do a new build. I don't know how long Jetpack stores builds, but it looks like it is doing a new build here. It's taking its time, so excellent. This type of build stuff is probably my biggest complaint of Minecraft plugins, is that there's just so many of questionable quality that either don't build or have so many build issues like this does. It's just frustrating. Makes me want to go in and fix some of these things, but that's a big hurdle as well. And what do? Do I make pull requests? I basically, in the case of a project like this, I'd have to convince them of a completely different way of building their project and within Maven, but try to get rid of all this junk that's giving us issues, and it's a hassle. All right, success. The build works. Whew. All right, so we're done with that. Let's just make a further note of the exact branch we're using here so that I can use that in my notes for stimulus package when I'm ready to go work on that again. There we go. That should be enough to remind myself of what I need to do. So let's take a look. Where are we at here? Git status. We've updated POM XML, updated README. We've updated the plugin class and the plugin YAML file. Let's just do a diff. So I've added Jetpack as a repository. We've added my version, the build 1.12.13 version of ShopChest. My version of that. We've updated the README with dependencies. We've added ShopChest, installation. We've added instructions to compile and install. We've added all these imports. Let's go see. Well, it still builds, right? I just did a build. Let's just do another build, make sure, but that builds probably IntelliJ is going to want to update itself here. Yeah, let's go import these changes. All right, all looks like it's building here. Excellent. What is this complaining about? Create test. I'm not creating tests yet. I'm still just kind of experimenting. So now let's update our server, run it again, and see if we get this debug information that we've been waiting for here. Rather than this weird exception of unknown method. Event exception, null, no such method error, shop utils, get shops. Java util collection. Are you kidding me? Did I forget to copy that over? Let's copy it over. Run it. Huh. Well, I'm not sure what to do about this because I shouldn't be using that method anymore. I should be using the one that yeah, so we're calling the one that let's see here, where are we at? So we're at Dynamic Map ShopChest plugin dot on initialized event line 54. So we're here. This shop chest, get shop utils, get shops. Now let's just do a Maven clean and a Maven package. It's possible that there's a compiled version of this that is still around and all the changes I've done just didn't take effect. I don't know how Maven handles some of these weird issues that I'm dealing with here. So it's probably possible it's using an older version of that class. Oh, there we go. That was it. It didn't recompile that class even though my entire project structure changed around it because the class itself wasn't updated. Okay, well. Wow, what's going on here? We have an X that is so far away. 1169 and 740? Where is that? X negative 1169. .169. Z is negative 740. 169. Huh. So there's a shop here that I never knew existed because I've never actually visited this location. Who owns this? Merrick Thane. Hasn't been on for a little while. Well, interesting. This plugin has already yielded kind of interesting information. I wasn't aware that we had, looks like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so shops out there. I have no idea. I have no idea what they sell. All right, so one of the things I'm concerned with is what are the problems, potential problems with duplicate shops. So I want to run a sort on this here. Let's add a divider line so I know where the sort starts and ends. Sort, splat. So we have a whole bunch for negative 100, negative 18, negative 20, negative 22. Then our y goes up to 74. We have negative 21, negative 23, negative 25. Then we're at x, negative 101. Negative 17, negative 19, negative 21, negative 23. Minus 101, 74, 20, 22, 24. Not seeing any duplicates yet. I'm going to just run sort real fast and say D, H, Q, Q, A, B, A, D. And yes, I just was testing to see if sort did filter out duplicates. It does not. So if there is a duplicate here, we should see it. And 21, 23, 25, negative 103, 19, 21, 23, 20, 22, 24. Here's the ones at negative 1169. Then a different set. These might be my shops. Oh, look, here is a duplicate. In fact, looks like we have a couple duplicates here. Let's see. Negative 40, 62, 21. So what's negative 40, 62, 21? So negative 40. $62, $21. So this, I know there is a boat shop down here. A boat shop set up by Pixel Grief. And so that's probably what that is. And then we have negative 54, Z29, negative 54, Z29. So this looks like my set of shops. I've got a series of shops in here. I forgot how far back they go, but that certainly could be. Well, yeah, then it goes 29, 27. So 27 probably makes a lot more sense. It's probably closer to there. And yes, we're seeing duplicates now. Lovely, because I suspect these are showing up as duplicates because I've gone kind of crazy and I created multiple double chest shops or double chest chests for each of my shops. So that seems to be what's going on here. Is I'm getting 2 results back for every single shop. that I've created. Now one of these is a little bit off. Why 65? Alright, this must be the zombie meat shop that I created. Because I didn't put that in the ground, I just didn't care. So that one's unique, but everything else is a double chest. Huh. Well, I was kind of hoping that they weren't too serious about that duplicate warning, but clearly they are. They said, what, 108 shops? And we're getting, yeah, so they said 108 shops, initialized 108. We are getting 259 entries returned. So that's kind of the issue we're dealing with there. Alright, well, in any case, we've got the very basics of a working integration with ShopChest working, where we listen to the initialize event. Let me get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. We listen to the on-shop initialized event. We dump information, the location information for every single shop that we can find. And so the basics are working. Kind of the next step, let's get rid of shop create event. Yeah, you're trying to think through next steps here. Eliminate duplicate shops or ignore duplicate shops. Not sure what to do about that yet. Get more shop information. Things like vendor, item, buy price, sell price, inventory, available space. I'm not sure what to call this yet. Let's see, if we're selling an enchanted item, we'll want to know any enchantments that they have. I think that's all the information I can think of for the moment. The next step is to add shop information to the map. So that's kind of where to go next. For now, let's wrap up the current commit, our current work, and see where we're at. Alright, so for the pom.xml, I've added the new Jetpack repository. This allows me to use my own custom version of ShopChest, and here it is. It's my queued pixel build 1.12.13 branch, which is basically their released branch with some fixes. Or it's not even a branch. They didn't release a branch. I had to go into their commits, find the exact commit that I believe they released, and make a branch off that. I really wish they would have tagged it or something. It would have made this a lot easier. I've updated my README to add dependencies on ShopChest, add installation instructions. I think I'm going to pull out the installation stuff and do that in a separate commit, because That's just a different question there. Yeah, so I added Jetpack, added my version of the ShopChest plugin, added dependencies to the README. We've added a bunch of using statements, import statements, so we can use all the ShopChest code, bucket code. We implement listener. We add our own version of, or our own instance of the ShopChest plugin. We get rid of Hello World. We grab ShopChest plugin and store that in our variable there, in our member variable. We register events. Here's our event handler. We basically get a list of shops, iterate over all of them, and dump out XYZ location. Then add dependency information to this at the very end, to our plugin YML. Let's see, dump shop information when ShopChest plugin is initialized. Let's print shop information. Log. As we use what, a logger for this? Yeah, we'll say log shop information when ShopChest plugin is initialized. When the ShopChest plugin is initialized. So that looks good. Okay, well I think that is a great point to push these commits. It's not a whole ton of work, but we have kind of the bare bones setup. So now we can go in, we can implement this more elaborate stuff going forward. You know, these are kind of the future tasks. Let's go confirm that this did make it all the way to GitHub here. And again, all my code is open source. If you wish to check it out, go to github.com/qpixel. The repository here is Dynmap or Dynmap-ShopChest. And we can see the latest commit is available there. All right, there's one more change I want to make here before I wrap it up, which is to copy and paste the installation instructions here. We'll splat that into the README. That is really what? Add installation instructions. Let's go ahead and push that as well. Let's make sure that shows up correctly on GitHub. And there it is. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's a good point for me to wrap it up today. So thank you for checking out my work. I'm a little busy over the weekend, so I think my next stream will probably be Monday at this point. My schedule's a little hard to discern sometimes, so I'll hope for Monday, and we'll see what happens. But anyways, thank you for checking me out, and I will catch you guys next time.